Welcome to the Off Campus Podcast. Today, we're joined by my good friend, Erik Wizbo. How you doing?
Hello. I'm doing good. How are you, brother?
I'm wonderful.
Thank you for
Good,
having
glad
me.
to see you.
Of course.
How long has
yeah.
it been?
It's been probably since summer, since like August 20th or so.
Wow. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
while.
Crazy stuff.
All right, Erik goes to Norwich University,
Yep.
correct?
Yep.
For
For computer science, Norwich University is the oldest private senior military college in the United States. Just for anybody that didn't know what it was.
very cool.
Yeah, and I'm a civilian student there. I'm not in the Corps because I don't think I can juggle my time that efficiently. But it is what it is.
And if you don't know him, he's been doing pretty well in the stock market. Not like nothing crazy, but he's been doing well ever since we were like 16 in high school.
Yeah, that's about when I started. I think 17.
Yeah, and we've been good friends since like 15. So
Yeah.
we end up talking about businesses and money and a whole bunch of other deep stuff that only older people normally think about.
Yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
we kind of veer that way.
Yeah, I mean it's always on my mind. And I'm sure it's always on your mind too.
Yeah,
How to become rich.
it definitely is. With the father that I've grown up with,
Yeah.
he's definitely ingrained that in my head.
Much more business oriented. Yeah, and I mean Joey's been one of my day ones since since freshman year of high school. We played volleyball together.
Oh yeah, so much fun. It was actually so fun.
Absolutely, brother.
Yeah, and you have an internship coming up, correct?
Yes, I do. I have an internship with Mesh 01, which is a company based in Nashua, New Hampshire. They are a product testing company for basically they have a bunch of clients like Nike, Under Armour, Polo Ralph Lauren, and basically what they do is when Nike makes a new product, they'll ship it out to Mesh 01 for product testing. So Mesh 01 will give it to a bunch of people, they'll wear it, and those people will leave a review on it. And then a company like Nike will decide if it had enough positive feedback that they want to push it to production.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, what are you going to be doing there? Do you know?
I'm going to be doing database management. So basically, they need help with finding their demographic of their product testers. So they want to find, how many 18-year-olds that live in New Hampshire or 24-year-olds that live in Massachusetts. They want to find more of their demographic, and so I can help them doing that by learning this database language.
Very cool. I know you're really good at coding. You know it.
I wouldn't say I'm the best, but you just have to
Yeah.
apply yourself. It's one of those things.
You definitely know more than most people, though.
Well, I mean, if you look at Brandon Wilcox, you remember that kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brandon's
Yeah, I'm
absolutely
sure he's a
crazy
little
with
bit
it.
ahead of you.
Yeah.
He's going crazy.
Yeah, he's going
You
crazy.
see
And
his
I
Snapchat
was
story?
Yeah, I was just texting him the other day, and he knows MongoDB, which is the language that I'm learning right now.
Yeah. Wow.
So yeah, that kid is out of his mind. He knows so many things. I wish I could just pick his brain. And,
He's like a 60-year-old trapped in like a 19-year-old's body.
Oh my goodness, yeah, and he dropped out of college just because he didn't like it, and then he is
He's got to be
he is
making
a,
good
he
money.
is a senior cloud engineering position for a company.
That's crazy.
over in Washington.
Yeah, he's pretty smart. He's always been smart.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's a few things you wanted to talk about that you mentioned to me.
Yes, absolutely.
The new
sir.
stock market lows.
The new stock market lows. Yes, the stock market is approaching new lows. At least
That's
At
crazy.
least the Nasdaq is. Yeah, we're seeing tech companies start to fall.
Oh yeah, the tech companies have been falling
Oh my goodness,
dramatically
It's been absolutely crazy.
ever since like after COVID.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah. I would say going into 2022, like right as 2022 started,
Yeah.
that's when you saw the majority
Yeah.
of these tech companies. Most of them have dropped 50% in a year.
what do you
or
think the
even more.
reasoning is behind it?
Well, you see all of these wild valuations because obviously tech is when you have a tech company, obviously, like a social media company, it can grow very, very, very fast. Like think something like Facebook,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, all of them. Like
Um, yeah,
even like Be Real, it's new.
yeah,
It
yeah,
went from like 20,000 uh, users to like 5 million or 10 million. I don't know the numbers, but
yeah,
something crazy.
yeah. And so that's the reason that these tech companies get the valuations that they do. It's because they often grow a lot more than your typical brick and mortar companies.
Yeah, because to like join a social media, you don't have to pay anything.
Nope.
I'm on Instagram for free. I'm on
Yep.
TikTok for free. It's all free, so
Yeah.
you're not investing anything into the product at all.
And they're just making money by giving you ads and stealing your information, basically.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Yep.
Google's everywhere. Google has all your information. It's insane.
Google is a monopoly because they handle 97% of all internet traffic.
That's
I don't
crazy.
know if you knew that or not. Yeah.
I didn't know that it was that number, but
Yeah, so Google is a big company.
they own everything. They own YouTube.
Yeah.
They own a lot. So
Yeah, and I mean they bought YouTube for a good price too. I think they bought it for like low nine figures, like 5 or 10 years ago. Yeah,
that's
and
wild.
now YouTube produces, I think they do $1 billion or like a couple $1 billion every single month. So they
Wow.
really made out well with
Yeah,
that.
there's I saw a stat of how many hours are watched on YouTube like every day.
Oh, it is absurd.
It's like over 10,000 years every day is watched on YouTube.
Yep.
That's incredible. There's a lot of people watching YouTube all the time.
Yeah, but and then we see other companies like Tesla. Tesla's down
Yeah.
almost 65% this year.
Yeah,
So I
Tesla's
mean,
taken a big toll, and I think there's a lot of reasons behind it.
yeah, yeah, there is.
Yeah.
You see Elon Musk and with
Yeah.
his acquisition of Twitter, and then he just left Tesla basically stranded to
Yeah, Tesla and
focus on Twitter.
SpaceX. It's well, less SpaceX. I feel he doesn't seem to talk about Tesla at all.
Yeah, I mean, he stopped. I mean, because obviously the dude is a genius.
Yeah, he is super smart.
He's an engineer at heart. He's not a businessman. He is a very, very smart man. Um, and yeah,
What do you
yeah.
think about what he's doing with Twitter?
I think that it's necessary that we have a platform for people that can't be censored. I think that's one of the most necessary things right now because I mean, you see what Instagram and you see what Twitter was doing before he acquired them. Twitter would just shadow ban people for whatever reason. It wouldn't matter.
Yeah, they wouldn't give reasons either.
No.
If you saw Jordan Peterson's ban, they just said he
Yep.
went against their guidelines, and it could be this, and that's why you're banned. And Jordan Peterson would say, well, if I'm getting banned, you should probably tell me exactly why I'm getting banned, right?
Yeah.
Like, but they wouldn't do that. And even if they wouldn't ban someone, they would just shadow ban them. And so you don't even know you're banned. You're still posting, but no one's seeing your content.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, you look at what Elon Musk, you look at what he just released. Like, I think he released it last week.
Yeah.
Where did you know that the U.S. government gave Twitter $3.5 million
Yep, I did.
just to censor some information?
Yeah, it's crazy, but it's all corrupt. It's always all corrupt.
Absolutely,
Always has
crazy
been.
stuff.
It doesn't even matter who's in power. It's always going to be corrupt.
Yeah,
It sucks, but it's the way it is, and our country's still the best country in history.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, I mean, there's always going to be a motive for somebody to do something in the world.
yeah,
you
and
know.
it's always the people that are highest in power that want more power.
Yeah,
They'll do it.
they
They will
just
do
want
anything
more.
for it.
They just want more control.
Okay. Yeah, and I agree on that side with the uncensoring of Twitter
Yeah,
and kind of making it all transparent. How they were censoring purposefully.
yeah, and I mean, people try to paint Elon Musk in a negative light over his acquisition of Twitter, but I really do think that it's something that the world needs.
We do.
Where, yeah,
Because he is less about the money. Like he can't be bribed like that.
Yeah, well, his next dollar isn't going to mean anything to him. That's the
Exactly.
thing. And I mean, you look at Mark Cuban too. Did you see what Mark Cuban did? He
No.
made his pharmaceutical company where he sells prescription drugs for
Really?
multitudes less than these other companies sell them.
Yeah, the pharmaceutical industry is pretty corrupt as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. And so what he's
Crazy.
doing is he is completely transparent about the cost of what it takes to make his medicine or whatever prescription drug he's manufacturing. And then so he slaps a $3 handling fee or a production fee. I think that's what it is to actually produce it because, of course, you need workers and stuff.
Yep.
And then you pay for shipping. He marks it up 15%, and that is it.
Wow.
He's not
That's
like,
awesome.
yeah, he's not like any of the other pharmaceutical companies where
We need more of that. And it's tough because normally people with that amount of money, like Elon and Mark Cuban, they
Yeah.
just go, they chill, or they retire, or they turn corrupt.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's good because you see Mark Cuban, and he's not a self-centered individual. Because, like I said with Elon Musk earlier, his next dollar isn't going to mean anything to him. He already made it. So
But to a lot of them, it really does. It still does.
yeah, I think it's just an ego thing, you know.
It is, but it's also power and friends. You want rich friends. So if someone's offering you money to do something, a lot of the times you're gonna do it.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
Yeah. And what do you think about the $8 subscription fee for Twitter? Because I've heard a lot of different things on it.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of different perspectives on it too. I mean, if I look at it this way, I mean, Elon Musk is a businessman. He bought Twitter for an absurd amount of money.
Yeah, way more than it was worth.
Yeah, he bought it at a crazy valuation. I think like $44 billion.
44 billion. Yeah.
Yeah, which is absolutely absurd. I mean, obviously he has the money to do it. He had to take out a loan, but I mean, he had the money to do
Yeah,
it.
he had to call up his friends, be like, "Yo, you gotta lend me some money here."
Yeah. And what was I saying?
Yeah, he's a businessman.
Absolutely.
It's been a business that's been running without real profit for way too long and hiring too many people. How many employees did he fire?
He
fired
had
over 1,000,
I
right?
think he had like 20,000 employees at
Yeah,
Twitter
and he-
before
and he
laid
halved it.
off. Yeah, he halved it literally.
Yeah. Like, we didn't need that. People were posting on TikTok the day in the life of a Twitter employee. They're going getting foot massages, having coffee breaks every 15 minutes.
Yep. And did you know? So Twitter's code, so the code that was used to make Twitter was written almost exclusively in this language called Strava, and it has millions and millions of lines of code in it. So it's very hard.
Wow.
It's very hard to upkeep. That's one of the things about it because you always have lines of code breaking, and then people have to go in and fix it. And yeah, so I mean, I think he's done a pretty good job with it so far.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that $8 subscription fee. I mean, people pay for Netflix every month and they don't care. People pay for Disney Plus. People pay for a whole bunch of entertainment services, a lot more than $8 a month, and they're fine with it. So I don't see any issue with him doing it for Twitter, especially because he's a businessman. He needs to make money.
yeah,
He
yeah,
just spent $44 billion. He needs to make some of it back.
yeah.
And a lot of people, they don't care. $8 a month for Twitter is not that much. They spend 4 hours a day on Twitter.
Yeah, it really isn't. And I mean, I think he had the right intentions in buying it too, because he didn't keep the company public after he bought it. He took it private, so he delisted it from the stock market altogether. So I don't think he really cared about making a profit right away. I think he wants to do it right and figure things out his way, and then he'll probably eventually take it public again. But that could be in a couple years. Right.
Yeah, he also just has so much going on.
Yeah.
Him especially. That's how we got onto this. We were talking about Tesla, how that stock's dropped just because, well, not just because, but a lot of the reason is because he's so busy.
Yeah.
SpaceX.
He's so
He's
busy.
got the mind chip thing. What's it called?
Neuralink.
Neuralink.
Yeah.
He's got
Yeah,
way
which
too
is
much going on.
crazy.
Twitter now and Tesla. Like,
Yeah.
He's run 4 huge industries now.
And he just got in another lawsuit with the
Did he?
government because of animal abuse, apparently, because they used a bunch of chimpanzees or monkeys to test the Neuralink on, and
Oh, wow.
apparently he likes to progress really fast. So
Seems like Elon.
yeah, he would imprint them in the chimpanzees' heads, and a lot of them died. So now he has an animal abuse case going on.
Wow.
Which, I mean, you can look at it two ways. I mean, you can look at it as obviously from the animal abuse case, where he should be doing things right and trying to make sure that he's not killing the animals. But on the other hand, he wants to progress as fast as possible. So, I mean, yeah. Did you see that video of the chimpanzee that was playing a video game? Literally,
No.
this chimpanzee was playing. It was almost like an air hockey game.
Wow.
And the chimpanzee was literally moving the slider with his imagination,
No way.
which is absolutely crazy to think about.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you what you think of Neuralink.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have a hot take or what, but I'm not a huge fan.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of it. I think it could be useful for some applications where, obviously, like coding for me is if I forget something, I have to go and I have to look on a website like Stack Overflow, or, I have to go into a textbook and try to figure it out. But if I had a Neuralink implanted in my brain, I wouldn't have to worry about that because all the information would already be in my head.
Yeah, it's like,
But
I
then-
want to make this. I want to make this, but I
Yeah.
forget the recipe. Boom, it pops in your head.
Yeah. But I mean, on the other hand, do you really want a company or, somebody like the government being able to observe your thoughts?
Yeah, people complain about that chips in their phones, like, and Google taking all their information and TikTok taking their information.
Yeah.
What about when there's a chip in your head?
Or even just Siri or like Alexa.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
worried about that?
Alexa is always listening in the background. Siri
It
is
is.
always listening in the background.
It is.
Even if you don't think they are. They are.
That's why you can turn it on by saying Alexa. It's always listening to you.
Yep. Or hey Siri. Siri just pops
Yep,
right up.
you can
Yeah.
check your phone. Yeah, I think that's a big thing. I'm not a big fan of Neuralink at all. I think it's cool. I think it can be useful for if people have diseases,
Yeah.
maybe even like mental diseases, anxiety, depression, maybe that stuff. I don't know. I don't know anything about it really, but I don't think we need it.
Yeah.
It's the question of
Yeah.
we may be able to, but should we? Like,
Yeah. And I don't think anybody in the general population knows how it works. So I think
No.
a lot of people are going to be, timid or a little bit scared to try it. So I definitely understand that.
Yeah, I think most people are, but I also think there's a lot of people who just do stuff without thinking. And
Well, yeah, absolutely.
yeah, there's gonna be both sides, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess I'm a little less trustful of people than that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Are you invested in any crypto?
Well, just Bitcoin. Just Bitcoin right now. I am glad that I wasn't on FTX. I'm sure you heard about that.
That's where I was leading with that. I
Yeah.
did want to talk about that because I heard a little bit about it today, and I've sort of been half watching it. I kind of know a little
Yeah.
bit about it.
Yeah.
Not everything, every detail, but
Yeah.
kind of know what happened.
Well, SBF has he had a $250 million bond or something like that.
Yeah, $250 million.
And then his
I
parent-
saw
well,
that. I was like, what?
It's like, of course, you only need 10% of the bond, so 25 million. But SBF said that he only had $100,000 to his name. It's like, I mean, of course, his parents can help out a little bit, but it's like, where are you getting that $25 million from? Like,
Yeah.
It's one of those things. I don't think anybody is gonna trust that man for a very, very long time.
No, and he took a weird approach. He went over, he was talking to everyone
Yeah.
before he got arrested. He's saying he's not getting arrested. And he
thought-
got arrested quicker because he didn't want, the prosecutors didn't want people to start believing him and sympathizing with him.
Yeah.
So he got arrested quicker for going around talking about how he's not getting arrested.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Well, he's obviously one of the softer people in our generation.
Yep. Oh,
You
yeah.
know, like, did you see that video of him? He was sitting in like a Delta class lounge, literally
No.
after he posted his $25 million bail. He was sitting in an airport in a Delta business lounge,
Wow.
and there just he had like a couple FBI people around him, but he was just being treated like a normal guy for the most part, and I think that's absolutely preposterous.
He's a criminal.
Yeah, you can't steal billions of dollars like that, even if he didn't mean to. You still messed with a lot of people's life savings.
Yeah. That's and I was listening to Ben Shapiro talk about how crypto's affected by it. And if you noticed, not many of the cryptos have gone down.
Yeah,
And he was saying how this whole SBF and FTX thing is kind of proving why crypto is a good idea, because the reason that all the people lost their money is because they put their trust in SBF. And the whole reason behind crypto is that it's
decentralized.
it's decentralized, it's detrust, you don't have to trust anyone, it's
Yep.
your money. This is how, like, you have the money. It's all yours.
Yeah, if you want to move $2 million, you shouldn't have to go through a bank, because the bank's gonna throw all these flags up and make you jump through hoops just to get your money transferred. But with crypto, it's the exact opposite.
Yep.
You just need a wallet address that you can send something to, and boom, it's done. Very low transaction fees too.
Yeah, so a lot of people are saying this whole FTX thing is proven why crypto's bad and you're going to lose your money if you put it on crypto.
Yeah.
Well, not necessarily.
Yeah, the downfall of crypto. But I mean, if you look at what happened with Binance too, did you hear what happened with Binance?
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
little bit.
So basically, it was rumored that Binance is the reason that FTX.
Binance threw them under, right?
Yeah,
threw
they
them under the
basically
bus,
threw them
kinda.
under. Yeah, because they sold $500 million of one of FTX's tokens, which of course you don't have that type of liquidity. Not everybody is just going and saying, "Hey, let me buy $1 million worth of FTT right now."
Yeah.
Nobody's really doing that. So when you dump $500 million, it kind of scares a couple people. And so everybody panic sold. And then next thing you know, SBF didn't have enough money
To pay him.
left. Yeah, which is absolutely
And then everything just went under.
insane. Yeah.
Kind of a good move on Binance's part. Just gonna
Yeah.
say it.
I mean, in a competitive market, yeah. But and then everybody started eyeing Binance, saying, "Oh, well, CZ, the owner of Binance, was worth, $36 billion last year, and now all of a sudden he's only worth, $7 or $8 billion, or even less than that." And so everybody started eyeing his exchange and saying, "Hey, if we sell all of everything on Binance, are we going to make Binance insolvent and make Binance go out of business?"
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I saw him. I don't know if it was the CEO of Binance. I'm pretty sure it was, but he was getting interrogated on MSNBC.
yeah.
I'm like, dude, they're ripping him apart. They're giving him no mercy.
Absolutely, yeah. And people pulled billions and billions of dollars off of his exchange, and nothing happened because he actually took the correct precautions.
Yeah,
He had enough
it's a
money.
little sad. The SBF story is a little sad because how old was he when he became a billionaire?
I think he was like
Mid-20s.
Yeah, mid-20s. Very
That's
unusual.
so crazy.
That's like Mark Zuckerberg type stuff.
Yeah, that's incredible.
You
That
know?
doesn't happen often. Then you see it all fall in a couple of years.
Absolutely not. Well,
Sucks.
he can't be doing shady stuff like he was.
Yeah, I mean, he deserves it, but it's still a little upsetting. Sad. It's sad.
Yeah. And I mean, he also can't be putting his girlfriend, who was a math major at MIT.
Oh yeah.
I mean, she knew next to nothing about crypto, and she was just going and placing these 7, 8, 9, 10-figure trades even. And I don't think that you can have somebody that young and that irresponsible doing that type of stuff if they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. Obviously, he has a little bit of. I mean, he's the one that started FTX, so he kind of has some. What's it called? He's got his authority
Yeah.
in that market, but
Yeah.
his girlfriend, yeah, not so much.
Not too much. Yeah.
All right. Well, next on the chopping block, fire.
Oh, yes. We wanted to talk about financial independence, retire early.
AKA fire.
Yes. So, wanted to talk about it because it's something that I've been seeing a lot more online recently. With these people saying, "Hey, I'm 30, 35, 40 years old, and now I'm retiring because I was smart with my money and I put enough money either in the stock market or in real estate." And one of the things that's so interesting about FIRE is you have these dudes going and trying to put as much money in the stock market as possible. And then basically the whole concept behind FIRE is that say you have $2.5 million in your stock market account or your brokerage, whoever you're going through, you can safely pull out 4% of that. So 4% of $2.5 million is $100,000. And so if you can live comfortably off of that 4% of the money that you have in the stock market, you will never have to work another day in your life.
And this is going off the assuming that the stock market goes up 10% year on year.
Yeah, every year. I mean, of course, you can have a couple years where the stock market doesn't move that much and you'll still be safe. But
Yeah.
on average, as long as
Even if it goes down some, it's not the end of the world.
yeah,
It sucks, but you may have to live a little lower for a little bit, but in the end,
yeah,
you still put 2.5 million in the stock
yeah,
market. It's not like you have no money.
yeah. And I mean, yeah, those are the types of people that can live comfortably. Because I mean, you can put 80% of that money in the stock market, and then you can put the other 20% in bonds to just kind of smooth the ride out. Because with bonds, you get, of course, that's already a fixed payment. It's already guaranteed that you're going to get your money. So they kind of just put the 20% into bonds to just kind of like smooth the ride per se.
All right. Yeah. What do you think about retiring that early? Because I think a lot of people will get bored. If you retire at 35, 40, let's say you live till 85, you still got half your life to live.
Yeah, I mean, one of my favorite TikTokers, his name's Frank Niu. He did this. He was a software engineer at Netflix. And basically what this dude was he would just he would job hop like every year or two. He would go find another job and he would effectively like double his salary doing this. And it got to the
Really?
point where he got to Netflix, which is obviously this very large company with a lot of money to expend on things. And he was getting paid anywhere from $500,000 to $750,000 a year just for being a software engineer at Netflix.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, all that he would have to do, it's not a very stressful job. I mean, obviously, as a software engineer, you have to be on call sometimes. So say there's some sort of error in the website, some region goes down, you basically get a call and you have to go fix that immediately.
Seems worth it though.
Yeah,
That amount of money.
for that type of money, I'll do a lot of things for that type of money,
Okay.
Joey.
Very interesting.
Absolutely.
That's cool, and I think so he's retired.
Yeah, he's retired. And
How old is he?
He is 35, and basically, so yeah, he's retired. He has 2 kids, and so he can basically devote all of his time to raising his kids.
Well, at least he's doing something. Because
Yeah.
I think, obviously, if you get to that point, you're not lazy because, you've put in a ton of work to get there.
Yeah.
But if you're retiring at 35, I think you're being a little lazy. Even if you can super comfortably, I think there's no reason to stop.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Especially as a guy, guys find their purpose in work and, achieving stuff. So
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
I think it'll get boring.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, a lot of guys, they need to accomplish something to feel good at the end of the day. You know what I mean? But from his perspective, he never really wanted to be rich per se.
Mm-hmm.
He just wanted to be comfortable, and so he
That makes
acquired
sense.
that point.
Well, yeah, I
being
guess that's
comfortable.
fair if he's at that point, and if you're doing this type of work and if you don't care about being rich, then you might feel easier to stop and just focus on other things.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, I think, like both of us, we want to be rich.
Yeah.
And I want to be comfortable, obviously, but I don't just want to be comfortable. I want to be rich.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't stop.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, for him, it was just, the concept of FU money. And
Yeah, you always need that.
what FU money really is, um, at the end of the day, you don't want your boss coming and saying, "Hey, I need you to work on Saturday," or "Hey, I need you to pull double time this week." Um, so what he really wanted was he didn't want anybody in this life to have to tell him or to have the authority to tell him what to do.
Yeah.
And so he reached that point where he didn't need it anymore. So he just left.
Yeah. I'm kind of like that, or I kind of have that mindset where I don't want to ever have a boss. I don't want anyone
Yeah.
to tell me. I mean, my dad's my boss, so I listen to him. No, I don't disrespect my parents just because I think like this, but yeah, I mean, I hate having a boss. I hate just doing the harder work, the less fun work, and making way less money.
Mm-hmm.
It's not for me, man.
Boss makes $1, I make a dime. I'm
So
not gonna finish that.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. All right,
Oh,
I think this is a good segue into drop shipping. So,
yes.
do you want to explain drop shipping, or do you want me to?
You can start out. Yeah.
All right, so basically, what drop shipping is you set up a store, an online store. Um, you market it, you get traffic to the store. Inventory is held at a supplier holds the inventory and then ships it directly to the customers after they pay you, and then you pay the supplier for the products. But the supplier holds the products, ships them straight to the customer when they buy off your website.
Yep.
So anything else? I mean, that's basically it, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, in some drop shipping, like if you're doing Amazon FBA, then obviously you just ship all of your supplies to Amazon, and then Amazon holds it in their inventories.
Yeah, it's not always the supplier, or sometimes you're the supplier.
Yeah,
A lot of people
sometimes-
do that when they have cool products that they like to make. They will make an online store and they'll start drop shipping. So,
Yeah. And
that's basically the whole thing behind it. Shopify is probably the biggest e-commerce platform.
yep,
So,
definitely by far.
I mean, what else is there? Is there any? There's no other like really.
I don't
big
believe
shop-
so. Yeah.
Shopify's it, right?
Yeah, I think it's just Shopify. And then obviously I'm gonna start making websites at some point. So if you
Yep.
need a website, Joey, I might be your guy.
I'll hit you up.
Absolutely.
So we've been talking about drop shipping for what, 2 years, maybe.
Definitely over. Yeah, I would
Maybe
say
even
about
over
2
that,
years.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Um,
I mean, you tried it. I know you did.
I hopped into the game probably early September.
I got a Shopify free trial, and then my free trial wore out, and I bought like the $1 for 3 months thing
Mm-hmm.
because I'm like, whatever, dude. If I lose $1, if I never use this, oh well. So I built an entire store in like 3 days, but I worked hard and I worked long, and I was gonna sell workout stuff,
Yeah.
but where I hit a wall was finding suppliers.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people use Alibaba and AliExpress for their supplies, for their drop shipping, because it's super cheap. It's easy. They have a ton of products. They have so many choices.
Absolutely.
But they're located in China, and they usually have ship times that are like 30 to 60 days.
Yep.
Upwards, most of the time, closer to 60 days. And I didn't want to deal with that because I once I bought a watch off an online store once for like $10. It was a sick watch,
Yeah.
but it took 2 months to get there, and I totally forgot I ordered it by that time.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even like hyped for it when I got it, because I'm like, wow, this took so long to get here.
Yeah.
And so I'm not like that type of guy. I want people to really enjoy what they get from me, and if they're getting it in 2 months, that doesn't seem right for
yeah.
me. So
It's
I was
not
having
worth it at
trouble
all.
with that, and you kind of fast shipping times is a good marketing point
Yeah, it'll
for your website.
it'll bring customers back. And like you were saying that it took so long for your watch to get there. Last year, my ex had broke my chain. So I was obviously in the market looking for a new chain, and I found this nice chain. It was like, I think it was like $120 or something like that. And so I ordered it, and it didn't get there until a month and a half later, and guess where it got shipped from?
Where?
Kyrgyzstan.
Where is that?
It's kind of like in the Middle East, or kind of like
Oh, wow.
more like Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is crazy. Like, how did it get shipped from halfway across the world? Like, why would you do something like that?
It just doesn't make sense. And I actually really did try. I spent a few hours looking for US based like workout gear that I can kind of buy cheap and buy in bulk.
Yeah,
There's none.
yeah,
There's none. You have to have like a private supplier
yeah.
from
It's
the
rough.
if you want one from the United States. I know a lot of products people, like clothes. People usually don't care about when they get them. They just care that they get them.
Yeah,
And there's a lot of products that a lot of people that don't care about the ship times. And that's me sometimes with certain products. I don't care about when I get them. I would get like it as soon as possible, but it's not a huge deal. If I'm ordering online, I'm not expecting it next day.
yeah,
And I think drop shipping's got a little harder since it started. It's really it's overpopulated right now.
oversaturated. Definitely.
Oversaturated. There's a lot of people trying, and it's hard to compete when Amazon Prime is next day shipping or same day.
Yeah,
My mom ordered something for my sister the other day in the morning, and we got it that afternoon. That's
it's
ridiculous.
insane. Jeff
So
Bezos
it's hard to, and they usually have pretty good prices
Yeah,
on certain things.
yeah, definitely competitive.
And
mean-
especially when you're buying that stuff from China or Alibaba, AliExpress, the quality's not that good either.
No,
That watch that I got, it looked awesome. It looked awesome until I got it. And then I'm
That's-
like, man,
that's the power of advertising, baby.
it is. But I'm not like that. I want people to like the product that they get.
Oh yeah, and
And it's not going to happen if I do it from China, and it's just not going to work. I
Yeah.
was looking for US based companies that sold workout stuff, but no.
Yeah, I mean, we're both not scam artists by any means. When I went and I started my drop shipping journey,
Oh yeah.
obviously,
Yeah, I was going to ask about that.
obviously, I got things from AliExpress. It wasn't too good, and I put them up on Amazon. I tried to undercut the next guy by listing it for $1 less, and I sold like maybe like 6 products out of like the 300 that I had bought in like 2 months. So I called it quits. So it's definitely, I think it's the oversaturation and the amount of teens or the amount of like fools
Yeah.
that
Like
think,
us.
that think
There's
that
a lot
it's
of
easy.
people like us.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a lot easier than
Me
it
too.
was. So
I was really huge into that, and I showed you Sebastian Georgiou, right?
yeah.
So that guy, yeah, obviously he did really well in drop shipping
Yeah.
like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Actually, I think he did it in 2016. So that's 6 years ago now.
Yeah, I think
Almost 7.
I think you had to
And-
get into it at the right time, and I think if you were to go into it right now, you would either need a really, really special product, right? Because if
Yeah.
we're talking about,
That's like the most important thing. You have to
Yeah.
find the right product.
and you have to market it to the right audience, and
Yep.
there's this thing, well, 2 things in business. There's this thing called demand capture, which is where there's already this product that sells well, and there's already this product out there that people are buying. And so you buy those products and you kind of just try to, skim a little bit off of, what the total market for that product is, which I think is definitely a valid thing to do. And then there's this thing called, conversely, or on the other hand, there's demand generation, which is what I did, where I bought a product that wasn't too well known, thinking that people would want to
yeah.
buy it.
Yeah.
So I kind of tried to generate demand for this product. And of course, it did not work out. It was an absolute train wreck.
So what do you do with that? So you own the 300.
Yes.
What do you do that you can't sell it back
It's
to them, right?
it's still sitting at Amazon. Yeah.
So that's it.
Yeah.
You just left it. Did you close your store?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I still have that.
Were you
up and
running ads?
No, I wasn't running ads. No. So the thing was that there were already like 4 or 5 different people already selling the product on Amazon. So I figured that
Oh yeah.
if people looked the product up, I figured that they were just gonna see the list of them and they were gonna see the prices. And obviously
Yeah.
mine was $1 less than everybody else. So I thought that people would come and buy my thing, but it obviously wasn't a bestseller with the
Yeah.
people.
That's okay. I mean, but that's the thing. When everyone who talks about dropshipping who is successful at it, I mean, it takes a lot of trials.
Yeah.
It's hard. There's a lot of learning parts to it. First, you have to learn how to find the right product. You have to learn how to make a good website.
Yep.
You have to learn how to market.
Yep.
That's 3 different things, and if you mess up on something, you have to figure out what you messed up on,
Yeah.
and it's gonna take a bit to figure that out.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm not a marketing guy by any means.
No,
I like to think
me neither.
I like to
But-
think I'm the brains behind the operation. I'm not the best at marketing or trying to convince people to buy something. That's never been my thing.
Yeah, I hope to be that soon.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good skill to have.
Yeah,
For sure,
absolutely.
and you can learn it. I mean, a lot of people are naturally born with it, and I don't think either of us are.
Yeah.
But it's a useful skill,
Yeah.
so we really should
Yeah.
try and learn it.
I think you just have to be a very charismatic person.
Yeah,
And, at least if you don't really care, then seem you like you really do care.
yeah, and you can. It's all stuff you can learn.
Yeah.
Practice. You know.
Mhm. It's all on YouTube. You can learn all these skills for free.
Yeah.
So-
exactly. Knowledge is free for the most part.
Yep.
It's pretty incredible, and good knowledge, not like school knowledge.
Yeah.
No offense to you, but
Hey, man, don't come after my school. Okay. Actually, you can come after my school all you want. I don't like my school.
that's fine. All right. So another thing, you want to talk about Section 8 real estate, and we've been talking about real estate basically since we started talking about money together.
Yeah, probably junior year of high school.
Because, I mean, that's when you started investing,
Mhm.
and you saw that passive income.
Yeah,
I mean, stocks, like, it's different, but
absolutely.
it's kind of passive income. And yeah, my dad told me to invest in the stock market too, so I had been working since I was 13, so I had some money too, and
Mhm.
you did too from trading.
Yeah.
You did a lot of riskier trading than I did.
Yeah. My risk tolerance when I started out trading was a lot higher than it was now. I was putting a lot more
Yeah.
money on these options.
But
trades
that
than
wasn't
I
a
should
bad
have been.
idea. You didn't have any bills to pay. You had it's not like you needed the money.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, if I lost all the money, it doesn't really matter. Obviously, I would rather.
It's not going to
prefer,
change your life.
I would prefer to have the money rather than lose it. But I mean, you have to risk money to make money at some point, right?
Scared money don't make no money.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, with my trades, I was when you have a stop loss. So if your loss exceeds a certain amount, then you sell all of your position.
Yeah.
In a stock. I like to think that even though I have a very high risk tolerance, at the same time it's very low because I have a very low stop loss, where I usually try to shoot for 20 or 30% gains on my trades. But if I have a losing trade, I will automatically sell it when it reaches 8%.
Really? 8%? Wow.
Yep.
Wow, I was thinking more like 15.
Yeah.
10, 15 seemed lower to me.
Yeah,
But
and
wow.
it all happens. It happens so fast. Obviously, where if you
Yeah.
have a losing trade, it'll go to the shitter really, really fast.
Yeah.
But that way, I think that this way of trading, where keeping your stop loss really low, is the best way to trade because that way, I can lose 3 or 4 trades for every trade that I win. And
Oh, yeah. That's a
Yeah,
good point. Yeah.
yeah, so I only need anywhere between a 25 to a 33% win rate to be profitable in the stock market. And so I think a lot of people that when you talk about people getting into stocks, and they're kind of, a little bit wary of, day trading, I think that a lot of these people, they believe in their position or they have, they're too emotionally invested in the trade that they're
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah, because you seem to never get emotional about that. Because I remember you'd come to school, you'd be like, "Oh yeah, I made $2,000 last night," or the opposite, you'd be like, "Man, I just lost $1,500."
Yeah.
But you didn't really care.
Yeah.
Like you didn't seem upset or like super excited.
Yeah, exactly. Because at the end of the day, it's all a mental game, and you can. It's all a mental game in the way that if you lose this trade, obviously you're going to be bummed out. But there are a million plus other ways that you can trade to make money.
It's like a mental game, like how gambling is.
Yeah.
So if you lose a bunch
Yeah.
of money, you
Yep.
don't double it up and hope you win the next, because you got to play your odds.
Yep.
If you lose, it's not whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't put your life savings into it, and you're
Yeah.
not gonna lose too hard,
Yeah.
especially at our age or even younger.
Yeah.
The money that you lose. When I was 16, say I had like $8,000. If I invested all of that and lost all of it, as long as I had a job still, that did not matter.
Yeah. It doesn't
matter.
Doesn't matter in the slightest.
But if I put that $6,000 in and turned it into 16, 20 grand when I was, I don't know, 18, 19, that's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge. So
Yeah.
it's not really, I mean, it does suck. It does suck to lose money, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know that probably more than anyone, more than me at least, because I never day traded.
Yeah.
All my stocks are long term, so.
Yeah. You're a big Ford investor, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
My
That's
my
good.
stocks have done me terrible. I put money in the worst time, absolute worst time.
Yeah. Well, if you look at this graph, this was a really interesting graph that I saw the other day, where if you look at retail investors, so your average everyday Joe Schmo investor like me, or like, some 20-year-old that's going to gamble his paycheck, the total amount of like daily deposits into the stock market in 2014, it was like $250 million. And then you saw it like basically staying the same level. And then in 2020 and 2021, all of a sudden you saw the average daily deposit going up to like $1 billion to like $1.5 billion.
Wow.
So I think you saw all of the smart money, all of the organizations like Goldman Sachs and all of those people like BlackRock. I think that they were all trying to convince people to hop in on these positions to, start getting invested so that they could just pull their positions out. So at the end of the day, they were the ones that were the winners.
Yep. Yeah. There's always going to be winners and losers.
Yeah.
Not everyone can win.
Yep.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
All right. So I mentioned Section 8 real estate. We kind of veered off, but
Yeah.
So when did you like hear about real estate? Or why did you get into it?
Well, I would say senior year, because you had told me about your uncle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was at that moment that I had started researching into it a little bit more, and I realized exactly how much money could be made in the area. Obviously, I don't want to be some trash landlord at the end of the day. That's scamming people, and oh, I don't have hot water in my house. Oh, well, that's too bad. I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah, but hopefully you get to a point where if there's no hot water in one of your houses, it's not your problem, and you can just hire someone to go fix it.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be like, oh man, I gotta go fix this. I
Yeah.
gotta go fix the
Yep.
heater. No, you don't have. You could just hire someone out.
Yeah.
'Cause if you have enough properties and you're making enough money.
Yeah, but I did some, between my senior year and my freshman year of college, I was, researching real estate a little bit more, trying to figure out what the whole essence of it was behind everything. And then I stumbled upon Section 8 real estate, which is, more affordable housing, where you have, obviously your tenant living in the house. They obviously don't make too much money. That's why they're on government-assisted housing. And the government agrees to pay a portion of their rent every month. And the reason that this is so foolproof is because even if the person defaults on their rent payments, the government will still step in and give you your money. So if you have a mortgage, that mortgage isn't going anywhere anytime soon if you run out of money.
Yeah.
Because you can't.
But with these, you're buying whole buildings, right? And it's more apartment based.
For the most part, yeah, you're buying more.
So you're pulling out huge loans.
Yeah.
For this.
Yeah, and that's my big idea. After I graduate and I hopefully get a good paying job. Cross our fingers, pray to God.
Yeah,
right?
Dude, I'm open. You're smart.
I would hopefully just live in a very low cost of living area for a year or two, or even just live with my mom for a couple months while I get my bands up.
Yeah.
That's always
Good
an
way
option.
to put it.
I might not want to move out right away. Obviously, if I'm in the financial position to do it, then I will. But if I think that I can make enough money in, say a couple of months, a half a year of living at home or living in a very low cost of rent area, and obviously if I can save my money enough, I might be able to purchase one of these buildings, and then obviously my mortgage payment is getting covered, and then you make a couple hundred extra bucks on each apartment that you're renting out.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that it's kind of easier to scale doing Section 8, going from one apartment building or one house to all of a sudden having 30, because you have the opportunity to do creative financing and all of that stuff, FHA loans, 3.5% down.
And there's a lot of stuff like that you don't pay for. So if something happens in one of the apartments, let's say the roof falls in, you don't pay for that.
I think you would still pay for it if that happened. But I think that for the most part, because you do own the house, it's not the government that owns the house.
Well, yes.
Yeah. But I think that it's a lot more foolproof in that way, because people are obviously paying part of the rent, the government's paying the other part of the rent. But if you're going by the 1% rule and your apartment is generating 1% of the total like worth of what the apartment is worth, then I think that you're going to generate a lot of money. And also it's not the end of the world if a toilet breaks or if you don't have hot water.
Well, you shouldn't put yourself in that position anyway.
Yeah.
Where like you should have enough money before you go and buy one of these things that you can kind of throw money at your problems.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, let's see. Cancel culture. We wanted to get into that.
Yes.
You asked me a question.
Yes. Okay.
Do you want to ask me this question again?
Yes, I have a very strong opinion on cancel culture.
Yeah, let me answer it first.
I wanted to ask Joey about this. So, Joey, do you think that there is any one person in America where if they got canceled, that everybody would just be like, nah, we don't want to cancel him?
Oh. Well, that's a little bit different than you worded it before. So, I can say this. I think that anyone can avoid being canceled if they don't apologize. And the reason I say that is because, let's see. These people who want to censor you, let's say you say something a little edgy, even if you had good intent. Let's say you said something bad. Let's even say you said something bad.
Or it's taken out of context. A lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot like that. So what happens is oh yeah, so you did this, right? You did this. We want you to apologize. And if not, we're going to cancel you and everyone's going to hate you, whatever. If you apologize, you admitted to doing the thing wrong, and they're still going to victimize you, and they're still going to cancel you. But if you say, no, that's something I did in the past, I had already apologized for it in the past, so I'm not responsible for it anymore. If you're mad about it, that's your problem.
Yeah.
You're not canceled.
Yeah.
You can't get canceled. I think, I don't know. Kanye's a little different right now. I think he actually has a mental disorder.
Yeah.
I mean, he's admitted to having bipolar.
We've known this for years. I swear, ever since I was in middle school. I mean, you would go and you'd look at Kanye's tweets and you'd be like, wow, that's a little, I don't know about that one, Chief. Like,
yeah. I'm not saying what he's saying is right and good or anything like that. It's bad. There's two things that can be right at once. The things he's saying is bad, and he has bipolar disorder. So he's not thinking right. And I feel bad for him. I feel bad for the people he's hurting, which, I mean, I don't think speech is violence, but a lot of people do.
Yeah.
It's kind of ridiculous. And that's also why I think when someone tries to cancel you, you just say, dude, I'm not harming anyone with my words. Man up.
Yeah.
Stop being a wimp. It backfired for some people. Andrew Tate, they tried to cancel. It completely backfired on them.
Yep.
And why? He didn't apologize.
No, he didn't.
He said, no, I'm not a misogynist. actually, I take care of women, and I'm just rich, and you guys hate me because you take stuff out of context, and people hate him just because the same reason that they hate Jordan Peterson, because they're talking to young men, trying to empower them, and teaching them how to be real men.
Yeah.
And I don't even love Andrew Tate. I like him. I think he has a lot of good points with money.
Yeah.
I don't listen to his relationship advice, just because he lives in Romania. They have different culture.
Yeah.
He thinks differently than I do.
Yeah, I think he has a little bit of misogyny behind him, but
Maybe a little bit, but that's their culture. Like
Yeah.
he doesn't see that
Yeah.
as any issue.
I mean,
That's what I mean. Like, I can say this, that I don't agree with him on relationships, and I still think he's a good person. I still think he has a lot of good to say.
Yep.
And I think he has good intentions behind it. He just doesn't. I don't know.
he might not
He's
deliver
like-
it the right way.
He doesn't deliver it the right way, and I think he's not as smart as he thinks he is.
Yeah, and
He's
anything
smart with money, but maybe not relationships. Just stay out of that, maybe.
Yeah, and I think that he kind of anything that he posts online, he already knows what the reaction to it is going to be, and I think one of the reasons that he became so popular so fast was for his controversial opinions, because he would really get people talking.
Oh, of course.
And I mean, in that way,
That's the only reason people know him is because he's controversial.
yeah, he sparked conflicts of interest with a lot of people.
And even if I think he's a full-blown out misogynist, do I think he should be canceled? No.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah, stuff.
Let him say his stupid crap online and let people call him an idiot for it.
Yeah,
Then that's his problem.
and culture in Eastern Europe is far different than in the West. Like
Yeah.
we have over here.
Super, super different.
But
And don't go acting like you're all perfect. I mean,
Yeah.
let's say he's a full blown out misogynist. Everyone's got their vices. So
But I wanted to digress a little bit.
yeah.
I wanted to see what your opinion was on this. 'Cause
Okay.
I had this thought the other day.
All right.
So, if you were to obviously, most people, if you cancel them in the United States, they're just getting canceled immediately.
Yeah.
But I have a very strong opinion on this one. I think that if you were to cancel Joe Rogan,
Oh, no.
nothing would happen. Nothing would
You
happen.
can't.
No, you
Yeah.
can't. The man is.
I mean, that's true. I was literally listening to him today.
Yeah, I know you're an avid Joe Rogan fan. That's
Oh,
why I wanted to bring
yeah.
this up,
Love that
he
guy.
has 20 million listeners on his podcast
Yeah.
on Spotify. That's what he averages.
Ridiculous.
That's what he averages, which is absolutely insane. So he obviously has a lot of support. I think that even if he was videotaped, a couple days from now saying some absolutely outlandish stuff, I think that
Well, that kind of did happen. That literally just happened recently.
what did he say?
He said some racist stuff back in the day.
Oh boy.
A little bit I don't remember exactly what, but yeah, he said some stuff. I mean, it's racist in today's terms.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
literally calling someone saying, "Hey, you're white." That's racist. I mean, not if you said it was white. If I looked at this black guy and said, "You're black," that's not racist. I'm
No.
observing something. I'm not saying anything bad about him because he's black. But I think it might have been something like that. Who knows? It could have been something bad that he actually said, something racist that he said, but he kind of just ignored it. He's like, whatever. They're mad at me. They're gonna forget about it in
yeah.
a week.
Yeah. In my personal
did.
opinion, I think that if you are taking something, if you find something offensive that somebody said in the past, and it's before the year 2010, I don't think that you can. Cancel somebody based
I think
off
if it's
of that.
been 5 years since they've said something
Yeah.
bad, a lot of people regret stuff, and a lot of people will admit that. But if they said something bad in their past and they've changed, obviously, they don't have to come out and publicly apologize for it or get canceled for it. There's no reason for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it doesn't help anyone.
No, it really doesn't.
It doesn't.
All you're doing is sparking conflict between, obviously two sides.
Yeah.
And I don't think that people should be, feeling that strongly about somebody, because at the end of the day, you have your own life to live, man. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
You know what's actually funny that I was going to say a little bit before, but I forgot. Mr. Beast was on Nelk's podcast,
Yeah.
and he literally said that going on Joe Rogan made him more popular. And to
I don't
older
doubt it.
crowds. So he said, I forget exactly where, but he would like go into Walmarts or something, and he said like the oldest guys in there, like 60, 70, would be like, "Oh, you were on Joe Rogan."
Yeah.
Like, isn't that crazy? Because they're not watching Mr. Beast videos.
Yeah. It's
So
funny.
he said, he was literally telling Nelk, he's like, guys, if you can get on Joe Rogan, you should. You're going to become more popular.
Yeah.
It's
and
crazy.
it's
That's
funny-
how big Joe Rogan's reach is.
It's funny that you bring up Mr. Beast because I wanted to bring up how much of a marketing genius this guy is.
Yeah, I listened to that too. Well, I've had already listened to Joe Rogan and Mr. Beast, but I listened to Nelk and Mr. Beast and then Joe Rogan and Mr. Beast again today.
Yeah. Was it the Joe Rogan podcast that he was on where he talked about he has a bunch of different YouTube channels where he
dubs all of his
Yeah.
YouTube channels in Spanish. He has 3 different YouTube channels. His main channel, I think a gaming channel, and React channel, and he does it in every language.
Yeah.
And I think he said his dubs altogether made more money than his English, his main channel.
Which is absurd.
It's ridiculous.
Absolutely absurd.
I think his Spanish one was the most, like, the fastest growing channel last year.
Really?
Either in 21 or I think in 21.
Yeah, that's absurd. But
He is a marketing genius. I got a Mr. Beast bar for Christmas, and I'm super happy about it, and I'm not eating it. I'm keeping it as a trophy.
dude, that shit's gonna be worth money.
Well,
Well,
yeah.
maybe. Hopefully. We'll
I'm
see.
not doing it for that. That's mine.
Yeah.
That's my Mr. Beast
Yeah.
bar. All right. I needed to ask you this question,
Yes. Okay.
and I was kind of hyping it up before, and so I'm just gonna go for it.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah, lay it on me.
So, what is your ideal age to get married and have kids?
Do you ask this to everybody on the podcast?
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
or I'm going
Yeah.
to. I've done it for both previous ones.
For me, it's interesting because I was in a relationship last year that made me lose almost all interest in women. I had some not very nice things happen to me. I'm not going to go into them, out of respect for the girl, who I don't talk to anymore. But it's like getting married, obviously, is you need to find your soulmate, and that's not something that can happen overnight. You need to find somebody that you can push through almost anything with and still come out stronger than you did before.
Do you believe in soulmates? Like, genuinely,
To-
do you think there's someone right for you, or do you think anyone can be right for you? You just
To a
gotta,
certain extent, I do believe in soulmates. Not necessarily that your soulmate is one person that's walking this earth and then eventually they're just going to find you someday. I don't think that's how it works. I think that there's a very limited number of people in this world that you can be 100% compatible with.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I just think differently about it.
And I definitely have to
So
find
what's an
that girl
age?
first.
If you find, let's say you find the ideal woman that you, I don't know. Let's say you've been dating for a while and you're like, okay, what's the age that you think you might pull the trigger?
I would say 25, and there's a reason behind this.
All right.
So I don't want to date anybody for the rest of the time that I'm in college because I need to focus on my career, obviously. And even when I graduate college, I want to be putting my career first, at least for a little bit, right? Because I want to establish myself. I want to make sure that I'm doing the best work possible, and I want to be held in a high regard by my peers and, obviously by my boss and all of that stuff. And the reason I say 25 is because I think that you need to at least date somebody for 2 or 3 years before you truly know everything about them. Like all of their highs and lows, how emotional they get when certain things happen. And so I think that's why I say 25.
All right. Yeah, I'm more of a, like, I want to get married as early as possible,
Yeah.
but also I'm only going to get married if I'm in the financial, like if I can afford it.
Yeah.
I'm only doing it if I can afford a house. And I want to buy a house as soon as possible. I want to move out, or at least I want to be able to move out.
Yeah.
Like that's my goal right now is I want to get enough money where if I had to, I could move out. My parents would never kick me out for any unless I did something stupid, which I don't really do.
You would have to do something absolutely heinous for your parents to kick you out, Joey.
Yeah,
I
they're too
think.
nice. So, like, I'm not worried about that, but I think a good goal is to be able to move out, and then, I mean, I want to get married as quick as possible. But
Yeah.
I think you're right. The 2 to 3 years, yeah, I see that. But honestly, I could probably make that decision in a year or two. Do you think? I mean, it depends. Different people for sure. But
Yeah.
do you think you have to live with a girl for a certain amount of time before you actually decide that you want to marry them? Because I know
I
some people do.
I would prefer to, because I mean the reason that I say this is girls are obviously, they're very different. You know, you meet one girl, you meet another girl. They're absolutely not going to be the same in, some regards.
No.
But you see, I really just want a girl or a woman per se. I like my grown ladies. Uh, I
Yeah.
just want a woman that's going to support me in all my endeavors. And what I mean by that is, if I have a bad day at work and she was mad at me, she is going to obviously still support me and not make me even more angry than I probably am.
Yeah.
I think that I th- yeah, it's like, I think between you and a girl, you need to build each other up, and you shouldn't be trying to tear each other down at any point. Obviously you have some arguments that are valid, and you need to have those arguments, to kind of reach, a meeting point, between the two people. But I don't think that, if I had a bad day at work and, all of a sudden my wife's nagging at me to, oh, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. And, I don't think I'd be able to take that.
Yeah.
Just me personally.
I think like a bad girl can make your life 10 times worse, but a really good girl, good woman, can make your life like infinitely times better.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's what I mean when I say, you have to build each other up.
Yeah, I agree. There's a difference between, like, if she's mad at you, there's a difference between her yelling at you and her being like, yo, this is hurting me, or I think I don't like this. Can we figure it out? There's a big difference between those two things.
Yeah.
And one's building each other up. Even if you have an issue, you can still use that to build each other up.
Yeah.
Or you can just get mad at each other and, scream, and it's just gonna make you both more mad and less happy with each other, and that's how relationships
Yeah,
end.
exactly. And I mean, another thing about me is, I'm sure you've noticed this in all the years that you've been my friend. For the most part, I am a very non-confrontational person. I don't like to get in arguments. I don't like to yell at people.
I don't either. I think we're pretty similar in that, and I mean, you can find a good woman who can support you, and
Yeah.
I mean, there's a difference between scream fights and just being like, hey, I see this, I don't like it, or hey, can we work on this? Can we do this instead? Like, I don't think you're spending enough time with me.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So
It's like, if you have a problem with me, then have a sit-down discussion with me on how you think we can fix it. Like,
yeah.
we don't need to yell at each other.
Yeah. Any last thoughts?
That's about it for me. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you
Cool.
for having me on the podcast. I really enjoyed this.
It was a pleasure. I'm very glad I got you while you're still here.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Not that you're going to
Appreciate it.
die, but you're going to go back to your school, and I'm going to be very upset.
Back up north, baby. Oh,
All
man.
right. Thank you guys for watching. If you don't mind, hit the like button. Share it with your friends. Subscribe on YouTube if you're on YouTube. If you're on Spotify or iTunes, thanks for listening. If you guys don't mind sharing and liking, doing all that stuff, it's free. You can always change your mind. And that's it. So thank you.
Yeah.
See you later.
All right. Have a good day, everybody.